think when we do something like that?
What's up, fight fans? This is the Combat Connection. We are live on the Cageside Press social media platforms. I'm your host, Brett Cagle, and as always, joined by Eddie Law. Eddie, we got a UFC Paris card that we got to jump right into from the gate. A week off the UFC had since their last fight night card, but we're returning with a ranked middleweight matchup that could have title implications on the line between Nassourdine Imavov, who I have been very high on recent shows, and Kai Barallo, two world-class grapplers, Eddie. What do you think of this matchup? 16-4 for Nassourdine Imavov, just finished former champion Israel Adesanya, while Kai Barallo is 17-1 and has been on a tear and is the head of the Fighting Nerds camp with all that success going through it throughout this year. Eddie, just from the start, breaking down the bare bones of this matchup stylistically, I think we're going to have two grapplers here. The grappling is going to cancel out. Barallo is not going to be able to find success on the ground against Imavov. And when this fight takes place standing, I believe that Nassourdine Imavov will have more tools in his arsenal to get this job done on the feet. I've got Imavov in this one by either knockout or decision. But what do you think?
You need to go start the Nassourdine Imavov fan club, bro, and like start getting those fees, man. Cause damn, boy, no, honestly, I don't know anybody that roots this dude on or that rightfully so, hypes him up as he deserves to be. Nobody else is saying the stuff you're doing other than the French people, right? So you're 100% spot on, dude. Nassourdine probably should have fought for the title by now, right? Like we were arguing that for a minute.
Yeah,
we just watched the middleweight title exchange hands. The scariest guy at 185 is the king now. So, honestly, as far as this matchup goes, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't have it. I was really wanted to see Imavov against Hamzat next, right? Just make it happen, right? Imavov, you could argue, is probably the guy who should have already fought for it. Probably should have been in there instead of Hamzat.
Yeah, I'd argue he has the best win this year in the entire middleweight division over Izzy. Nobody's been able to finish Izzy like he was. He dusted him, put him out.
Yeah, so, the UFC is probably like, hey, look, man, we got this card in Chicago. You're not selling too many tickets there. Do us a favor. Just take one more fight. And Imavov is damn sure talented enough to beat Kyle. The thing about Kyle, up here, bro, he's a freaking genius when it comes to preparing and for all that kind of stuff. So I think last time we saw Kyle, that was a short notice fight, right?
Yeah. Who was he fighting? Jared Cannonier?
I think... Because I know he lost last time we saw him, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. No, I'm wrong. I'm way wrong on that. Jesus. He beat Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, so Cannonier was the last one.
All right. So, either one of these guys really has a claim. But this is about as a number one contender fight as we have in any division, right? These guys are the two rightful guys to represent one contender. I like Imavov, man. I really do. Like, I'm a big fan of Kaio's, right? Not just because I ran into him on the streets of Chicago. He's a fucking giant human being, but also fucking cool. But a couple things. He cut weight for that card. Now, a lot of people are like, well, they're athletes, are used to this stuff, blah, blah, blah. You cut weight twice in a matter of weeks to 180. It's hard. Like, it's going to tax him. He's not a small 185er. He's a pretty big 185er. Imavov's probably a little more 185er than the 85-ish and Kyle is, in my opinion. So I think the cut would be easier for him. But it's cut weight twice in a matter of weeks. But a lot on the line, man. A lot on the line. But I'm with you, man. Nassourdine is just, to me, should have fought for the title already.
Not only the weight cut, Eddie, when I was thinking about this one, you just mentioned it. He was in Chicago with you, right? And us. Mm-hmm. And then he's flying to Paris. And then in a week, he's going to be flying to San Antonio for Gene Silva at UFC Noche. This guy's all over the globe following his students and the guys that are also a part of that Fighting Nerds team there. Do you think that the travel is too much for Kai Barallo right now and that he's all over the place at one time? And it's just going to be hard for him to hone and focus in with all the travel he's doing.
32 years old. Nah, I think he'll be okay. Again, it's the main event. So it's not like, he's going to cut weight. He's going to have plenty of time to recover. To me, it's the effect of the long, like just like you said, the travel, but also the long weight cuts. He's done 2. He's going to be doing 2 here. Like, I won't be surprised if this weight cut's kind of rough on him. Different country, just like I said, the travel, and he just did it. So he better be real smart about how he cuts his weight in order to be, at 100% on fight night. That being said, dude, I'm thinking it's going to be just, like you said, the ground game's going to cancel out. We're going to have to see 2 guys stand up, and I like Imavov's hands better, just by at least by a little bit.
Yeah, I've got it the same way as you, but for Kai Barallo, he's never lost in the UFC, right? And I'll read off a couple of the names that he's beaten along this winning streak since joining the UFC, and it's quite impressive. Jared Cannonier, Abus Magomedov, Paul Craig, earlier in his career, beat Aaron Jeffrey, who we've seen have success in Bellator and the PFL, beat him on the Contender Series. Also has beaten Armin Petrosian, Michael Oleksiejczyk, and Makhmed Muradov, who was 25-7 coming into the contest. He's beaten top of the spear level competition in the past, but I just think Nasruddin Imavov right now is the most talented guy that I've ever seen in middleweight. His ability to finish strikers on the ground and then against grapplers to keep the fight standing and be able to showcase his striking. But in the last contest, one of the best strikers in the world, he outstruck him. So what are we going to see from Imavov coming into this one? I hope he can showcase some of that elite striking that we've seen. I'm going to take Nasruddin in this one over 5 rounds decision. Eddie, I think Kai Barallo is one of the toughest customers that we have, and just purely based on pride, I don't know if he's going to be able to get put out of there unless he gets caught with something he doesn't see, which is very possible as well. But I just think that he's so tough, he's so well conditioned, and he's ready for this moment. Right now, it's going to be hard to get Kai Barallo out of there, or Caio Barallo out of there. So I'm going to go with a decision victory for Imavov.
I'm with you on that as well. Now, Caio's biggest win in my mind, the one that impresses me the most, or two of them, is beating Paul Craig at his own game, right, ground game. And then the Michael Oleksiejczyk, his brother just fought last night, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about, right? Good too. Yeah, he looked great. So Mikal, those two finishes to me are the most impressive things on Caio's resume, right? But Nasruddin Imavov has a knockout finish over freaking scary ass Jared Cannonier and the former champion Israel Adesanya. Like you can't. They're not the same. Imavov's wins a little higher, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like him about by decision, but I won't be surprised if he finds a way to get a finish here like 4th, 5th round. I won't be surprised, but I'm going decision.
Yeah, I have exactly the same way. Maybe if Barallo loses gas late, he'll be able to get him out of there or something like that. But I think just technically on the feet, Imavov's going to have a significant advantage in this one. If it does go to the ground, though, I will say we have not seen Nasruddin Imavov off of his back. So if Kai Barallo can take him to the ground, maybe this is an interesting fight and he can blow the doors off Imavov, but we just haven't seen this Nasruddin put in those vulnerable situations on his back yet. Me and Eddie are both going with Imavov by decision this weekend. Eddie, do they have the odds over there for the fight on UFC, or should I look them up on ESPN?
They don't. Look them up.
Okay, so
I don't think they don't have any. I think they stopped putting odds on this website, dude. Or the UFC website, whoever runs it, no offense, is awful.
Yeah,
keeping this shit updated. Somehow that's the one thing PFL has on UFC is that their stuff's just a lot more up to date, I guess.
Close fight here, almost a pick 'em. Minus 130 for Kai Barallo, plus 110 for Imavov. So you have a betting underdog in Nasruddin Imavov this weekend, who me and Eddie are both taking based on this stylistic matchup. So if you're a bettor out there, that is some plus money that you can put into a parlay for Imavov this weekend. But moving down the card, Eddie, another fighting nerd in the co-main event. We have really been impressed with Mauricio Huffy coming in here. He had an incredible spinning wheel kick knockout over Bobby Green last year, but he's going to be taking on a grappler in Benoit Saint-Denis. I kind of see this as classic striker versus grappler, right, Eddie? We got the creative guy in Ruffy who's got the spectacular highlight reel versus the European Jiu-Jitsu champion in Benoit Saint-Denis, who's a gritty competitor, bites down on the mouthpiece, moves into the pocket, and can get fights to the ground. If he can get Huffy to the ground, I think that he can win the fight. But the thing that really, when I'm thinking about this matchup and I'm trying to decide which way I'm going to predict, which way I'm going to bet, there's too many times I see Benoit Saint-Denis get into that danger zone with his chin out over his feet and in a vulnerable position, right? He got caught with that clean left hook by Dustin Poirier and dropped flash in one punch. His debut in the UFC, he got battered by Ezequiel Zaleski dos Santos, another Brazilian who kind of has a similar style in game to Mauricio Huffy. He's spinning wheel kick, Sean Strickland, Mauricio Huffy. We saw very creative strikers nonetheless. But I see this striker versus grappler. Benoit's got to take this down. And if he does it, I think that there's a high probability that he goes to sleep and does not make it through the 15-minute distance in this fight. How do you see it, Eddie? I've got a striker versus grappler, and I'm favoring Mauricio Huffy on the road in France versus Benoit Saint-Denis.
I think Huffy's able to deny any ground attacks BSD can come up with, right? Like Huffy's one of these, like he's newer on the block. I was less tape on him, and I know I'm totally grabbing from a different sport here, but there's less tape on him, right? There's not a lot more on him. Yep. BSD has plenty of freaking tape, right? Benoit is all over the place. Benoit falls in love with the war. He loves like the God of War thing. He loves a war. Like he's one of those guys that knows even if he has an advantage on the ground, he's like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna throw hands, see what happens. And I think that's what we're gonna get. I think he's back at home now. Let me check real quick what his last few fights look like. But if he's not on a losing streak, he ain't gonna play it safe. Yeah, he just came off a submission victory over a super last second Kyle Propalik and
he did lose to Renato Moicano, I believe, by finish, correct?
Eye injury. He fucked his eye up. They wouldn't let him go. I mean, he got cut up. It was bleeding. Couldn't see shit. The doctor comes in and weighs it off. But he was still in the fight. But it was probably he's going to lose that.
Oh, Moicano hit him with an elbow on the ground and mount, didn't he?
Yep. He fucked him up. So, again, Hoofy is a very, very explosive, very violent striker. But if he gets on top of you on the ground, shit. And not the way BSD's gonna wish it was Renato on top of him. For real. So, all that being said, with the amount of momentum Hoofy and that whole team have, man, it's hard to pick against him for me. I'm taking him by finish. I'm taking like second, third round knockout.
Yeah, I'm going to go same direction. I'm going to go second round knockout. I think Benoit goes in there, tries to implement the grappling from the beginning, and probably tires himself out after his arms get gasped trying to hold up Mauricio against the cage. But I've got Mauricio Huffy in this one by knockout, as you do, Eddie. Quickly on this, the odds on ESPN are -190 Mauricio Huffy, +160 Benoit Saint Denis. That's closer than I thought it would be, and it makes me think that the odds makers believe if this goes to a decision that being at home in France, there might be a factor to where Benoit Saint Denis gets some favorable scorecards if it hits that 15-minute mark. And
it could, right? It could, but I just that's what I'm thinking. That's what Hoopy's probably thinking, right? Like I better finish this shit because those judges are not going to help me, right? Yeah, we've seen some really crappy decisions these last few times out, so.
And every time we go overseas, I hate to say this, but every time we're in one of these countries, like we're in the Middle East in Abu Dhabi, or we're in France or Australia, there just seems to be some hometown scorecards some of these times. And you got to almost predict it at some point across these cards, whether it's in the main event or the prelims, it's going to pop up at least once. But yeah, we think Mauricio Huffy gets this one done inside the distance, most likely by knockout. -190 there, less than 2-1 odds if you want to bet on him this weekend. Moving on down the card here, though, we have a former opponent of Kai Barallo, former middleweight, now light heavyweight once again, Paul Craig taking on Modestas Bukauskas, who has looked fantastic in his second stint in the UFC since returning from Cage Warriors. Picked up a win last time out. And Eddie, for me, at this stage in his career, it's hard for me to pick Paul Craig to win a fight. I hate to say it, but unless he has a physical advantage on some guy that's like 6 foot tall and he's 6'3" and he's got length that can take him to the ground and wet blanket him, I don't see him winning too many fist fights anymore. And Modestas Bukauskas is a big athlete that's going to be hard to take down, and when you get him to the ground, it's going to be even harder to keep him there. So if this fight hits the feet, Modestas has shown himself as a well-experienced fighter striking. He can win by knockout. He's looked good since returning to the UFC, and I think he's going to finish Paul Craig this weekend by knockout.
I hate to agree with you, dude, because I like Paul Craig. Cool guy, fun to talk to and everything, and talented as on the ground and everything. But I think he's burnt out his welcome, burnt it out, not just wore it out. He burnt it out. He shouldn't. If it wasn't for the last fight being a no contest with Bellato, right? I forgot exactly what happened in that first round.
But knee to the head, and then Bellato fell. It was one of those. He had that delayed reaction. Remember, we led off one of our shows with it.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Well, if it wasn't for that, Paul Craig wouldn't be here. Let's be real, right? Yeah. It'd be, in my opinion, go to Octagon. Okay. When you get cut, because you will. I'm sorry, you will. This is not going to go your way. But Bukauskas is a motherfucker and a real light heavyweight. Paul Craig is playing. He's pretending. He's a pretend light heavyweight. Modestas Bukauskas to me is a real one. A 3-fight win streak, 2 finishes, and a fucking war with Jan Catalaba last time out.
Yep.
His momentum is insane right now. Like I said, I like Paul Craig. I hate to say I don't see any. What do people call it? The way to victory. 31 years old to 37-year-old Paul, bro. Collect your check. Make it a war. Get fight of the night on this one if you can. Collect your check and just go teach jiu-jitsu. Go to Octagon. Maybe CJI. Maybe UFC BJJ. You know what I mean? But there's no possible way this man remains on the card without an insane finish in my mind.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to take Modestas Bukauskas in this one, both by knockout. Is that what you got, Eddie, or you think it goes to the dip?
No, knockout. Unfortunately, Paul Craig's going to go unconscious before this fight ends.
Betting odds on this one, minus 370 for Modestas Bukauskas. Now, actually, I thought it'd be maybe even a little bit bigger than that. Paul Craig plus 280. If you guys want to go and bet on these fights this weekend, make sure you get them in now before the lines move after weigh-ins. But we've got another big matchup, two more really big matchups here on this main card, Eddie. One of them being Balaji Oki from Belgium taking on Mason Jones from Wales, who we saw compete there in UFC Iowa. We saw him go to war with Jeremy Stephens. That was a fantastic fight, fight of the night there in Iowa for that UFC Fight Night card. But he's taking on a step up in competition here and a very athletic guy in Balaji Oki. What do you think about Mason Jones? And do you think he's got the technical skill? Well, here's my problem with this, right? He got hit a lot against Jeremy Stephens. And if he sits there on the feet and has a similar style, similar game plan where he just wants to technically box from the outside and, get into a stand and bang matchup, he's not the fastest guy. He's not the longest guy either. And if he gets hit by Balaji Oki, there could be some real problems here, right? So my head's telling me to go with Balaji Oki by knockout, but my heart's telling me to go with Mason Jones by decision. I think that if he can take this fight to the ground, he can win by decision, but it's just going to be a rough time taking Balaji Oki down for 15 minutes.
Balaji Oki longer, he's been in the UFC longer. He's got that loss to Chris Duncan, fair enough, guillotine show, you get caught on shit, whatever. My thing about Mason Jones, he killed it in Cage Warriors, man. He was that guy everyone's talking about. He needs to go UFC. He's next. He's that dude. He's on his way, whatever. And then he goes to decision and gets hit a lot by Jeremy Stephens. Not like prime Jeremy Stephens, not ready to kill everyone. Not even who the fuck is that guy, Jeremy Stephens. 20-25 left and came back because he got bored, Jeremy Stephens. That is not a way to fucking to impress anybody, right? To me, Mason Jones looked like he got affected by the lights last time out. Will he get affected by the lights this time out? I don't think so. A little closer to home, a lot closer to home than last time he fought. I go decision with him too because Oki's a motherfucker, but you're not going to hold him down, right? Like I think Mason Jones knows he needs to make a statement here, even though he's on a win streak, even though he won his UFC debut and all that. He's got to go on. He's got to put something together, and I think he's going to go for it on the ground at least. So I think he gets Oki down. Now, holding him down, like you said, is really difficult. But if you can take him down, do some ground and pound and everything, and finish the fight, go for it. Otherwise, it might be a long night for Jones.
Yeah, and when you sit here and look at Balaji Oki's record, he doesn't really have a standout victory. This would probably be the biggest win of his career. The only ranked competition or anywhere close to it that he's fought was Chris Duncan, right? So this is a very big matchup for him. I'm with you. I'm going to go with Mason Jones in this one by decision. I think that he does have skills on the ground and standing. He's just really going to have to mind his P's and Q's when he's on the feet with Balaji Oki because one mistake could be the end of the fight. So that's kind of my analysis on that.
Now, real quick, let me correct myself. I just remembered Mason Jones. This is the second stint in the UFC. I remember.
Yeah, he had a first run.
He lost to the guy with the apostrophe in the name, Ludovic. He lost to Ludovic Klein. Found his way out. I don't remember if they just didn't re-sign him or they cut him or whatever. But went to Cage Warriors, killed it again, and came right back. Right, second stint. I don't know who I was thinking about. They just made their debut recently, won decision, but whatever. Forget all that part, folks. Point stays the same. He needs an impressive win in my mind to stay here.
Yeah, I think so too. And the win over Jeremy Stephens didn't necessarily it proves he belongs, right? And we got to give Jeremy a little bit of credit because he was fighting at home. That was a big matchup for him, and he wasn't going to go down easy. That was, a cowboy with one bullet left in the gun, fighting in the biggest card of his lifetime. It was the first card in Iowa in the last 25 years when he was coming up in the sport. All those guys, Tim Sylvia, Robbie Lawler, and all them dominated it, right? That's really the Midwest was a breakthrough place for the sport there in the early stages of it. So we got to give Jeremy a little bit of credit, but I got Mason Jones by decision in this one. Quickly on the odds before we move to the next fight here in this matchup. We got Mason Jones minus 140 plus 120 for Balaji Oki. Yeah. Almost a pick'em fight here too. A very, very even, kind of like what me and Eddie were saying. It's hard to predict this one. And it's viewed that way in the betting odds as well. So there is some money to be made. A lot of close matchups this weekend on this fight card.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's gonna be a good one. What's up, Tim? That's my boy Fang, dude. Hope Michigan.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, Tim.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad, man. Appreciate you, Kairos, with the repost. Yeah, but dude, it's gonna be something, dude, for real.
Now, Eddie, we got it. I don't know why this matchup's 5th on the card. We'll skip through Reese McKee real quick. We'll talk. I think Reese McKee wins that fight.
We don't have to talk about that one at all.
Yeah, but this one, I don't know why this isn't close to the co-main event. This is the biggest fight on the card, other than the main event, in my opinion. You got 2-weight world champion who we talked to here on Cageside Press, Patricio Pitbull. Check that interview out on YouTube with him, his brother Patricky, who we had some fight news drop for.
Fucking Captain Eric, who's a psychopath, but awesome.
Coach Eric was
shit.
dropping bombs. So it's a good watch if you want to go get that view on YouTube there. But
he kept me a post interview for about 20 minutes, and I'm like, bro, we got to finish it. Yeah, but hang on, let me tell you a story. Like, God damn it, Coach.
But we have former Octagon 2-weight world champion Hussein Keita, is taking on Pitbull. Now, Keita's a very, very athletic guy. He has 10 wins by knockout in his career. But, Eddie, the thing sticks out to me, he has never won a fight by submission. Pitbull has 11 submission victories and just had 5 takedowns against Dan Ige in his last fight. So I think that Pitbull is going to have to employ a game plan that he's not normally used to, and he's going to have to take this fight to the ground if he wants to come away with a victory this weekend. Keita is one of the most athletic guys outside the UFC. He's got one-punch knockout power. Everybody's seen the highlight reels he's got going on over there in Octagon, and we expect him to come over and do big things in the UFC. And for Pitbull, he had his chance to kind of go to the top with that Yair Rodriguez performance, right? Now he's in the Yair Rodriguez situation and the newcomers facing him. So a little bit of a change of the script there for Pitbull in some recent contests. But, Eddie, I don't think Pitbull can win this fight by knockout. I really don't. And if he gets into a war on the feet, it's going to be fan-friendly. It's going to be one of these action-packed fights that we really, really love to see as fans and journalists. But it might not be the best situation for him at 38 years old and at this stage of his career. Gets a very young, long, rangy, athletic kid.
Real quick, sorry. I just saw a post about 37 minutes ago. Paulo Costa. Hold on. Yeah, try to put it up. No, I'm not going to bother. Paulo Costa just tweeted out about 37 minutes ago. Was offered Shara Bullet in Qatar. Looks fun. I said yes.
Shara Bullet. I like it.
I love it. Dude, holy shit. Anyway, sorry. Just want to throw that out there, folks. You haven't seen it yet. Paulo Costa. Bro, this fight goes, man. I mean, Keita, right? Killed it in Octagon. A physical specimen is just psycho. Just crazy, just physically impressive. Against an incredibly, what do you call it? Yeah, it's legit. Sharp bullet, if it happens, right? But Paulo Costa put out that he signed, that he said yes. We'll see if it becomes legit. But watch for some asshole to be like breaking news. I'm breaking it right now. This fight's happening. Woo. And they make fun about how short he is and how weird he is with women on Twitter. You know. Yeah. Sorry, I'm totally out of it here.
That's a fight where Paulo Costa is going to be the aggressor, like always, and Shara Bullet's going to use these creative techniques as he comes into the inside. That's going to be action packed as long as it stays on the feet. I really like that.
And they're both going to gas the fuck out by the 3rd round. So that's going to be fun. Someone better go to sleep early, bitches, because you both get tired. Anyway, but back to this fight. Dude, it's hard to deny. In my mind, to me, this is the youth and the athleticism and the skill base, obviously, of Keita against the skills and the experience of a Patricio Pitbull, right? I think that's what we're looking at here. And seeing Pitbull fight the last 2 times out, I'm not impressed at all. At all. Like, it sucks. He came to the UFC way too late in my mind to make a real run at something. I think he's here to be, 38 years old.
He's here to do this, Eddie. In my opinion, he's here to do this, right? He's here to enter these guys into the UFC.
I think he knows, and I hope he knows that. I really hope he knows that, because a lot of these guys come in thinking this and that, whatever. And he's just like when he made it to the UFC, that first fight, halfway through that fight, I'm like, this dude ain't going no fucking title shot ever. Not like this. You got to come in the bang. Former, with 2-weight division champion and Bellator and everything. So,
but I was talking to Coach Eric, and I really think that this This fight is a statement victory for Pitbull, right?
Yeah.
This one proves, if he can get this one done, it proves he belongs. I turned this kid back, who you guys all thought was the next thing, this big up-and-comer from Octagon.
Mm-hmm.
It's my time in the top 5. Get me in this ranking and get me a matchup that gets me closer to the title. If he wins this one, Eddie, I think that some of those aspirations to fight Volkanovski, listen, the seeds are there for him and Volkanovski. Volkanovski's talking shit about him with Izzy. He's talking shit with Coach and his brother about Volk. Those guys don't like each other, and that would be bad blood. It'd be a perfect co-main event matchup on maybe one of these bigger cards next year, maybe the Topuria card or something like that. But I think if Pitbull wins this one, it's off to the races for Pitbull, right? But if Cato wins this one, the sky's the limit for him too, because you just beat a former world champion who is highly respected, and you're probably going to get thrown into a top 5, top 10 matchup. So this is a very, very big fight. The implications for the rankings in this featherweight division and the title picture are huge for this matchup. So I was a little, surprised that it was this far down on the card. Fight fans are going to have to tune in early here to make sure they don't miss this one. Prediction though, I mean, damn it. I don't want to take Pitbull getting, I'm going to take Keita by decision. I think Pitbull is going to be tough enough to survive here. I think he's at times going to be able to force this fight up against to the fence and look for takedowns. If he can take this fight to the ground, which, Keita's a lot bigger than him, a lot longer than him. It's tough to even get the fight to the ground against this guy. But if he does, I think Pitbull can find some success. But I'm going to go with Lucien Keita by decision in this one. In kind of a dominant style. I think he's going to keep this one on the feet mostly and pick him apart from the outside.
Pitbull's going to look really good for the first round. He's going to look good. But Keita's a motherfucker, man. I'm telling you, if you guys ain't watching Octagon, you're fucking up. It's clearly it. You're fucking up. Forget, and I hate to say it this way, all right, because I know I might get in some trouble, not we, but I might get in some trouble for this. But skip PFL. Don't even worry about it. All right, it's the same old shit. Wait till the title fights come up, the tournament finish. The tournament finals are almost always really good, and later on everything. But if I had to choose between an Octagon card and a PFL card, I'm watching Octagon.
The production value in Octagon and KSW and some of these places in Europe is through the roof.
Crazy. Shout out Patrick McCory. Always trying to give you got to watch Octagon. So I finally did quite a while ago, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. And the fights are crazy. But Lucien Keita's the guy who's been killing. Get that man going, dude. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see him in there for Octagon. He was also in he was in Cage Warriors, was he? No, he wasn't. He was only Octagon. But anyway, killed it in Octagon. I don't think he lost. I think he lost maybe one fight in Octagon. That's about it. So the kid's ready to go, man. And I like him.
Bettors out there, kind of some close odds in this one as well. Minus 225 for Keita, plus 185 for Pitbull. About 2-1 favorite for Lucien Keita in his debut. Probably a pretty good number there in relative to the matchup. But Eddie, is there some more fights you want to talk about on this card? Ante Delija from the PFL, former title challenger over there, makes his debut against ranked heavyweight Marcin Tybura. Tybura is one of these guys that, if you're not very good, if you're not a top 5 guy, he's going to expose you. Scroll up a little bit. And then, if you are a top 5 guy, you can beat Tybura, right? And you can beat him impressively, and you can showcase your skills. If you're not a top 5 guy, he's going to take you to the ground, and it's going to be a rough night for you. It's going to be 15 minutes of hell with a big guy on top of you, elbowing your face in. And Ante Delija, we just saw him lose to Valentin Moldavsky in his last fight over in the PFL there. And I don't think that Moldavsky is that much different of a fighter than Tybura. Quite honestly, I think he's maybe a little bit better athlete, but wrestler, wants to get the fight to the ground, has a similar record to what Tybura has. I'm going to go with Tybura in this one. I think he gets Delija to the ground. I think the experience in the UFC against top flight competition is something that has to be mentioned. And listen, if Delija keeps the fight standing and he doesn't get taken down, he can win this by knockout, right? We've seen Marcin Tybura chin. We've seen him beat. But if Tybura could go in there and implement his game plan on the ground, I think this is going to be a long night for Delija. And I'm going to take Marcin Tybura by decision in this one. I know we hate seeing heavyweight fights go to decision, but I think this is a tailor-made matchup for the big guy.
I'm with you. It'd probably be Tybura. My thing about this is, and again, I don't care about this fight. The number 7 ranked heavyweight is in the prelims. The UFC is bringing whoever they can. Just, are you a heavyweight? Cool. Please kill this guy. We do not want this dude to climb up the ranks.
Despain. Anybody with a six-pack, come in. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, juice the fuck up and come kill this. Please, somebody, anybody, literally anybody. That's what the UFC is doing right now. Like, please, anybody kill this dude. But he's so damn good. And it's not that he's physically imposing. It's not that he's some kind of like otherworld athlete. He is so damn skilled. This is a skilled heavyweight. We don't have many of those in the world. Like skilled, like the last one I saw where I can tell you the skilled heavyweight, like legitimately skilled heavyweight, Daniel Cormier. Okay. Daniel Cormier. John Jones, I don't even say that, but Daniel Cormier. He's the last skilled, not really physically impressive, not really physically imposing.
Yeah, you're right. Stipe was kind of like Stipe's a great athlete. He's 6'4", he's 250, he's a shit house. Yeah. Right. But you're right. I think it was DC and Kane were really the last two, man. I agree with you. So, at that level, there's Frank Mears and there's other guys, but
I forgot who it was that Mathis said he should fight the winner of this, but he was saying somebody should. Anyway, whatever. My brain, I'm out of it, dude. It's 120 degrees out here. My brain is cooking. I'm over here with Red Bull at 6 p.m.
You're all good, man. I don't know who should fight the winner of this next, but I want to see Alexander Volkov back in there in short order. I don't know if he has a matchup that's been announced or not, but I was really pissed off when Volkov didn't get that decision victory over Cyril Gane, who's going to be fighting for the title coming up. It was ridiculous.
It should be Volkov and Aspinall in my mind.
I know. The only reason it's not, in my opinion, is because Aspinall beat him on the way up already and already subbed him. So, I mean, it is what it is, but he looked as good as anybody's against Tom, relatively speaking, to the people that he's fought so far. So, great matchup here. Or not great, a compelling matchup here in the heavyweight division that you should tune in for. One more before we move on to news, Eddie. Rinat Fakhretdinov. I talk about him a lot on the show. I think he's one of the most underrated grapplers in the world. Is on the third fight of the night, I believe, taking on Andreas Gustafsson, who in his UFC debut made a name for himself, Eddie. He's one of the most aggressive guys we've seen. He bites down. This is a guy who bites down on the mouthpiece, comes forward, and you're either going down or he's going down. It's a crazy fighting style that this guy has, kind of a throwback to like Vanderlei Silva or one of these. Maybe not that skilled, but that same level of aggression, right? He's coming down, and he's a downhill fighter. And Rinat Fakhretdinov is one of the most skilled grapplers in the world. He's beaten Brian Battle. He's beaten some very, very, very good guys. I mean, schooled Kevin Lee in his return to the UFC. Went to decision with Ezekiel Zaleski dos Santos. But there are some fights like the Carlos Leal fight recently where some people didn't really think he won that fight, right? And Ezekiel Zaleski dos Santos went to draw. Some people thought that he didn't win that fight either. And I think that these close decisions are some of the reason why he's not getting the rocket strapped up to his back, because when you look at the record, 21-3, when you look at the skills, he's got them. But with Andreas Gustafsson, he's a brute of a man. He's going to be hard to get on the ground, and he is better on the feet than Rinat Fakhretdinov. If this fight stays standing, Andreas Gustafsson can win this fight by knockout, but does he have the skills to keep himself off of his back? He actually had, I believe, about 5 to 6 takedowns in his UFC debut himself. But is the Swedish style of wrestling better than Rinat Fakhretdinov's Russian style of wrestling in these matchups in the past? Obviously, the Caucasus region guys, the Dagestani guys, have showcased their grappling in the past. I'm going to go with Rinat Fakhretdinov by decision in this one, but I think this has sneaky potential to be a very entertaining fight.
I think so as well. I think it's going to be going. And the thing about Fakhretdinov, he's always been this close to like contending, and he just somehow he hits a wall of some sort. It's just really weird. But I'm with you on that, dude, 100%. Andreas is a bad motherfucker too. He's funny as shit on his story. And last time he said something real sideways after his fight fell out, it was kind of hilarious. But anyway,
He's a character for sure. And I agree with you, Eddie. I think he is the toughest, just based on pure toughness. I think he's going to be the hardest guy for Fakhretdinov to get out of there of any of the guys that he's fought.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
So this is these are our predictions and analysis for the UFC.
Real quick.
Paris.
I want to talk about this fight right here. Folks, I'm just fucking with you. I don't want to talk about this.
Oh my God.
I don't dislike women's MMA. I love women's MMA.
You asked.
But,
all right.
But you're telling me Sam Hughes don't look like who's the is it Tweety Bird? She look like Tweety Bird, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all caught me tired. I'm saying sideways shit now. My bad. I couldn't. Go ahead, Brett. It's your show, bro.
Eddie's clouded. All right. So, all right, Eddie, let's get to the news for this week. We actually there was no UFC fights, no PFL fights, but there was a big knockout over the weekend. Darren Till in the Boxing Misfits matchup put Luke Rockhold to sleep, man. Folded him back against the ropes, knocked him down in the first round. Luke survived the second. Damn near killed him in the third. I don't really like seeing Luke Rockhold. Here's the thing. If it was MMA and it was 10 years ago, Luke Rockhold would have handed Darren Till his lunch money back, right? He'd have taken him down and choked the shit out of him. But it's not that day and age. And Luke Rockhold's in this place in his career after the Paulo Costa fight where he's out of the UFC. He's bare knuckle boxing against Mike Perry. He's going to do karate karate combat versus Joe Schilling, which I think he actually should have continued to do and would have been a better avenue for this fight than pure boxing. Luke would have been able to use his kicks and elbows, which would have made this at least somewhat even, in my opinion. But Darren Till, this is who he is. He's an aggressive boxer who has lethal left hand. That's what he's been his whole career. But in the other assets of mixed martial arts, he's not quite that skilled. In boxing, I think he can do tremendous things against other mixed martial artists. Maybe against some older boxers. I know he called out a couple guys from Europe, Carl Frosch among them. But maybe that's a good matchup. I'm not a guy from Europe that is foaming at the mouth to see him versus Carl Frosch, right? I'd like to see Darren Till maybe make another run back in the UFC if he'd like to get in the 185-pound division and Dana wants to throw him to Paulo Costa or Shara Bullet or some of these strikers that are in this division, MVP. I think there's some really good matchups there for him. When Darren Till was in the UFC, Eddie, he would put on entertaining contests with Robert Whitaker, with other people, but he'd struggle against Derek Brunson. He'd struggle against Duplessis. He'd struggle against these bigger guys with grappling backgrounds. It's just good that he's in an avenue now where he gets to use his best skill set and we get to see him compete once again. And Eddie, I thought he was in some of the best shape we've seen him in recently.
Yeah, no, and Darren Till might be hilarious, right? Because it's the most overrated fucking dude I've ever seen. Not ever, but like what was he middle? He came in at 170.
170. He was a bad boy at 170 until
did he make 170? Did he make 170 one time? Maybe twice.
No, he went on a run. So he beat Cowboy originally. That was the big fight that put him into title contention. And then Woodley slept him. And I think Masvidal slept him, and he left the division after the Masvidal knockout in London. Yeah,
you're right. And then he missed weight twice at 170. It wasn't one against the this was like 2017. The other one against Wonder Boy. He fought Wonder Boy and he beat him, but he missed weight. So he missed weight twice, right? Had to move to 85, and then he started all the L's, right? Tyron choked him out. Jorge knocked him out. He beat Kelvin. Okay, he beat Kelvin. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Kelvin won that fight by decision. Robert Whitaker decisioned him, and then it's like he didn't fight till like 2021 after that. I can't remember, like late 2021. He got slept. I think he got choked out. And then he got choked out again by DDP. And that was that, right? So Darren Till. Now, in terms of Luke Rockhold, so today he came out today. I don't know who he's talking to, so I apologize if I don't cite it correctly. I'm sorry, guys. That's not what we do. We actually try to give you where the information came from. He said he's done fighting. Like he'll still do jiu-jitsu and everything, competition and everything, but he's done like throwing hands, boxing, striking. He's done.
He should.
So everyone's been saying, "Oh shit, Darren Till retired Luke Rockhold." No, he didn't. He did not. Michael Bisping retired Luke Rockhold when he took that title off him, because you guys remember. Michael Bisping came in. He's like, "Oh, you want to give me a title shot? Fuck yeah, let's go. All right, cool. Let's do this shit. All right, I'm ready. Hey, look, man, I ain't supposed to be here anyway. I'm going to go for it." You know what? Remember Luke Rockhold walk out? Looked bored. He almost looked offended.
He looked like he didn't even want to be there.
He looked offended that they put Michael Bisping in front of him. Hey, I fucked him up.
And you know what, Eddie? I was thinking about this the other day before this matchup.
Yeah.
He almost was right to be offended. And it's not like I know the confidence was the killer, right? But he one-arm guillotined Michael Bisping 8 months prior. I to this day, it's been 12 years since that matchup. I've never seen a top 10 martial artist since then defeat another top 10 mixed martial artist by one-arm guillotine. Haven't seen it. Have not seen it. He mounted him and just it was like a big brother with a little brother. And then that second fight comes around. And what Rockhold's like, well, I just beat the shit out of this guy. What's the point of me fighting him again? but you got to get up for every matchup in the UFC. That's why this sport is the hardest to stay on top, and it's the best sport in the world to watch as a viewer and a fight fan, because anything can happen, right? And just like you mentioned, we knew when we saw Rockhold walk out that night, we're like, oh shit, he better start getting the butterflies in his stomach, because it don't look like he's ready to compete right now. And we all saw what happened. So, but you're right, the confidence before that fight he was one of the most confident fighters I've ever seen, right? And that confidence after that loss was deteriorated and drained. And then Yoel Romero knocked him out, and then Blachowicz knocked him out, and then it snowballed, right? So you're right. Luke Rockhold, though, but before that fight, Luke Rockhold, in my opinion, was one of the most skilled middleweights that we have ever seen. And he dusted Chris Weidman, beat him in his own game on the ground. And I think he would have, in his time, given Anderson Silva a really good run for his money as well.
100%. No, 100%. No. But so Michael Bisping beats him, and Luke Rockhold's like, remember that? But was it before the first fight, the second fight, where he was like, you envision, you achieve, you dream. He gave that bullshit ass like motivation.
Yeah.
And Michael Bisping, to this day, in 2025, Michael Bisping's like, this silly fuck. You guys remember when this asshole said that? I mean, it was the funniest shit. He did
it's on his Believe You Me podcast.
No,
it's
not.
His intro.
No, it's not.
Video. Yes, they've got Luke going, believe, achieve, and then they got Bisping going, shut the fuck up.
If Michael Bisping's not one of your favorite shit talkers of all time, you are out of your mind, people.
Hey,
God, it is what it is, man. In this game, time catches up, but also your chin.
Yeah, I got to ask you one question, Eddie, because after that fight, right, they used to have these things in the UFC, the post-fight press conferences, where even the loser would come back and he would sit next to the winner. And I remember vividly Luke Rockhold sitting there looking like a somber human being, like his family just died in a crash, next to Michael Bisping, while Michael Bisping shit talks him drinking a Budweiser in the same press conference. And you got like 8 dudes up there at one time. Why did they kind of go away from that?
Oh, man, I think, those
were great theater.
Oh, they were. But the post-fight, it's hard to watch, especially when someone gets knocked out. I mean, like these days, if there's like a vicious knockout, like they don't interview him anymore. I think the last time we saw it was when Daniel Cormier got knocked out, and he was crying on fucking international fucking pay-per-view, and everyone watching going like, "What the fuck are you doing, Joe, asshole? The fuck? Why are you talking to him? You know better. You're the one who was standing them going, we stopped interviewing knocked out guys. What the fuck are you doing?" Anyway, so that's one of the reasons, right? And nobody wants to sit there and just get shit on after you just ate a bag of dicks in the fucking octagon. Like, you don't want to do that. So they probably stopped it because, I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but at the same time, these media days were not media days the way you and I know them now. The old media days, and I got to catch one of them, was literally they would sit up in this big room and they would set up the fighters on stools and they would put like a sign behind them with their name on it, right? And you would go over and over, just scrum, like boxing scrum style, right? They went away from that too. It's too loud. Fighters, if you put the wrong fighters in the same room at the same time, you get issues and all kinds of shit. And it's just messy and it's unorganized. So the UFC changed everything up. So 100%. No, but I remember some of those pressers, watching, guys like I gotta sit here and hear about how I got my ass whooped, motherfucker. These days, you get very few guys that lose coming back there. You know, the one guy that does it every time, Dustin Poirier. He's a grown-ass man. He always comes like, hey, guys, it's what it is, man. You play this game and everything. And then he gets up and like, all right, love you guys. Here's some sauce. There you go. Shout out Dylan Napoleon. Got himself some hot sauce. Homeboy next to me in Utah got himself one. And we just happened to be eating dinner. And I was like, hey, man, space my shit right here. And he got the hottest one. I'm an idiot. His person has one a piece of it was like chicken. I took a bite. My God, Dustin, what the fuck did you put in that? Oh my God! Look, I'm Mexican. I've eaten some of the hottest. I've even eaten white people hot shit like ghost peppers. You guys are crazy. You go thinking it's some kind of Olympic sport. What's the hardest shit we can make and like not die? You guys, I don't know what y'all thinking, but you got me on that one. My boy made this salsa and everything, and I took a whole ass chip of it. Nearly died. Okay, it was that bad. That's how hot it was for me. I was like, no, I like to taste my food hot, but I like to taste my food. So fuck y'all. But anyway, it doesn't happen anymore, honestly, at all. But and honestly, it'd be wild if it did it again. You kind of like, ugh. All
right, Eddie. Some big news though from the heavyweight world, the goat of our sport, John Jones. God. We talked about this hit and run accident in June when it got announced. Obviously he vacated the title moments, like an hour after this came out, he goes and calls the UFC, vacates the belt for Tom Aspinall. But these charges have been dropped. And does this, Eddie, the big question that fight fans are asking and wondering online, does this kind of ease a way back into the UFC for Jon Jones? We know Dana White has been saying, I can't trust Jon Jones at the White House. I can't trust Jon Jones. Well, Dana, you just trusted Jon Jones for 12 months previously. What happened for the 8 months that he sat out from the Stipe fight to the time he left? You trusted Jon Jones that entire time he was your champion. You defended him while these charges were brushed under the rug until he came back from Thailand. Why are we just now we can't trust Jon Jones? We've been trusting Jon Jones for the last 3 years to come back and make your heavyweight division relevant again. And now we can't trust Jon Jones to come on a big card. What are we talking about here? Either you can't get a deal done with Jon Jones or he's too scared to fight Tom Aspinall, one of the two. And it might be both. And, and that's the reality of the situation. But as a fan of the sport, as someone who's been watching the entirety of Jon Jones' career from even before he won the belt, he has got to compete in the UFC and pass that torch on to the next generation so this sport can move forward. That's my opinion on it. And the biggest and best venue for him to do that is the White House card. Now, if Tom Aspinall, a Brit, goes out there and beats Jon Jones on the 4th of July White House card as we celebrate independence from their country, it is what it is. But it's the biggest fight. It has to happen. And if Jon Jones comes back, he has to come back on the White House card. In my opinion, I know Dana's giving a different opinion. But if President Trump got on the phone, President Trump doesn't come to many fights, right? And this is all about President Trump and the 4th of July. Don't think it's not. This is a spectacle. He was at Jon Jones' fight against Stipe, right? With Elon Musk and all those boys. If Donald Trump gets on the phone call and, hey, Dana, we're having Jon on the card, right? Like, Jon's going to be on the White House card, isn't he? He's going to be on the card. Like, it's as simple as that. If the big man wants him on the card, I think he's going to get on the card. But if Dana can get away with it, maybe he goes through there and doesn't try to get Jon on the card. Do you think this is a way for him to be back into the UFC with the charges getting dropped here, Eddie? Or do you think this is just all a big clusterfuck situation and he's not going to get back in regardless because he's burned that bridge?
No, dude, Jon Jones has gotten in trouble with the law how many times now and somehow sneaks away with either a slap on the wrist or nothing at all? No, this is not a way back. It doesn't matter. This is not going to at all affect his staying with the UFC whatsoever. Jon Jones is not in a good standing with the UFC because of Jon fucking Jones. And it has nothing to do with his crime and shit like that. I mean, we've seen look, dude, we got fighters that hang out with that fucking with Kadyrov. The freaking Kadyrov. That guy like corrals people and kills them. He corrals other people and kills them. Yeah. Anybody that he doesn't agree with, that he doesn't like, he just corrals them and kills them. It's been documented, right? So no, that has nothing to do with it. The thing with in my mind. This is not going to do nothing. This is going to be Jon Jones. I don't even looked at it. I guarantee he already posted it. You don't even have to tell me if he did or not. I guarantee he already posted some shit online. He's probably like,
I just saw on Instagram before we got on the show, he posted a broad view of his mansion with the song Welcome to the Good Life or whatever that song is as the caption on Instagram. So he's trolling everybody about his shit getting dropped already.
Listen to what you just said. Welcome to the good life. Jon Jones is pairing up with Kanye West. That's Can Jon Jones do anything that makes sense? Just one time, Johnny. One time. All right. Do something that makes sense, like fight fucking Tom Aspinall. But the thing with Jonny Bones, man, is just he's in his own world and he thinks he runs it, except the rest of us don't give a shit. Honestly. I don't know anyone that gives a shit anymore about Jon Jones fight, for the most part, about fighting, because he's burnt that bridge, not just with the UFC, but with the fans. Nobody cares. You ducked Tom Aspinall, right? I thought for sure it was going to happen. I thought it was a negotiation tactic, and I thought he's going to get the $30 million. He's going to get the White House card or whatever card. No, not the White House, the Madison Square Garden card. He's going to get paid big money to fight the guy, Tom Aspinall, and he'll be good to go. I thought that's what it was. When he dropped the belt, left, and they announced the White House card. He goes, oh, shoot, maybe I want to do this. You might as well just start quacking left and right. That, to me, and I hate saying fighters duck, I want to say he's the first guy to openly duck a fight. Honestly.
Now, Eddie, I do have a question for you, because if he comes out here and is an interview with Ariel Wani or something next week and goes, hey, guys, I had to just get this legal situation under my belt and it taken care of first before I can focus on fighting at that point. It's taken care of. The charges have been dismissed. I'm back, and I fully want to fight Tom Aspinall now at the White House card. I want to fight Tom Aspinall. It comes out of his mouth. He says that is what he wants. Do you think that that changes some of the online opinion towards John of being a duck, that he says, I had something I had to deal with legally. I didn't know if it was going to impact our fight. I didn't want it to impact our fight. And obviously, this might not even be the truth, but he could come out from a PR perspective and say this, and I think save a little bit of face, right? He comes out and says, I had to put it behind me. I didn't want this to be detrimental towards our championship fight. Tom's the champion. He's going to fight Surreal. I'm going to take on the winner at the White House card. I think that he'd gain a lot of favor back with the fans. I
think he would too, if he said that. And maybe he does. Who knows? I just think if you're an adult with a fully formed frontal lobe, you'll be like, oh, it's bullshit, right? Because come on, man, what are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing, Johnny? Look, bro, we can see you, bro. We can see you. You're not hiding. You're not John Cena. All right, we can literally see your fuck ups left and right, bro. You smashed your forehead on a cop cruiser in Las Vegas and started crying because they wouldn't let a guy that just won the fight of the year, whatever it was at the awards and the champion, the GOAT, they wouldn't let him go after you got the cops called on you. My guy, there's nothing you could do to save that face. Now, you're right. He can come out and say all that, and people fans will be like, yeah, here we go, let's do this shit. In fact, people will be like, cancel that Cyril Gane fight. Put John Jones in, right? Because you and I will say the same thing. Why are we playing? Let's get him in there. He's a real true champion. Let's go, right? So that's what would happen. Yep. I've been burned so many times, like, so with John, not me personally, but like
as a fan,
as a fan, right? As a fan, going, man, John Jones is the baddest dude in the world. He's not scared of Tom Aspinall. He's not scared of Tom Aspinall. Duck, gone. What the fuck just happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally do not give a shit if he fights or not. I don't. And so what I think is going to happen, here's what I think is going to happen. He's going to keep coming out saying, like, I want to fight on the White House card. I'm sure you already thought, hit up the UFC about it, whatever. And they're going to be like, there's only one guy for you to fight. All right? Because, look, on what planet does anyone believe Cyril Gane has a chance against Tom Aspinall? Unless Tom Aspinall either shits himself or tears his ACL and then walk into the fucking octagon. It ain't going to happen.
And you know what? The craziest thing is we've seen fluke craziness happening with Tom Aspinall's only loss against Curtis Blades.
That was so crazy.
I'm not the most interested in the fight, but listen, if I'm sitting here looking at it from a betting perspective, if Tom Aspinall tries to take that fight to the ground and gasses himself out trying to get it there because Surreal's a big, strong dude and gasses his arms out, and then we're talking about a 5-round fight in round 3 and 4, maybe Surreal gets to him. I think that's the only way Surreal wins the fight. But like you're saying, Eddie, it's few and far between. He's going to come into that one as probably 5-1 favorite, betting wise. So, but we do have some more news that we have to talk about. And John Jones, hopefully we can see him back in there sooner rather than later. But Eddie, there's a big movie announcement. We don't talk about the movies very often in this sport. We haven't really had some great movies in the mixed martial art world. I think the movie Warrior was well done. That's probably my favorite about our sport.
I like that one.
But evidently, there is an 8.6 coming down the pipe from The Rock, the Smashing Machine, former HBO documentary that people have called the greatest sports documentary of all time from the 1990s, which showcased Mark Kerr's career coming from the UFC and being involved in the Pride Grand Prix 2000 World Tournament there with Royce Gracie, Sakuraba, Igor Vovchanchyn, Mark Coleman, Gary Goodridge, Fujita, and some others there as well. This is going to be a tremendous movie, in my opinion. I've seen the HBO documentary. It is the greatest sports documentary I have ever seen with my eyes. It shows a guy sitting there competing against the greatest in the world in a promotion ran by the Yakuza. Foot stomps allowed to the head, no time limits in some of those fights in that opening round. And all the time, he's got a drunk girlfriend who's suicidal, which you'll see in this movie, and I think played by Emily Blunt in this movie, but it was very well documented in the documentary, their relationship there. You see this guy he has a painkiller addiction. That's really a big part of the story, right? He's a big, tough guy. He has a lot of pain when he comes out of these fights, but the doctors aren't prescribing him the pain meds that he needs. He ends up injecting liquid opioids into his bloodstream to sit there and get some type of pain relief at some point. And you see him do this in the documentary with the needles and stuff. So it's very, very graphic. And it shows a time in our sport where it was the most violent, ever in that era of mixed martial arts. So I think this is going to be fantastic. And Eddie, they said at the film festival that they had out there in Europe that they got a 15-minute standing ovation, 100% score by Rotten Tomato, and an 8.6 on IMDb. I'm looking forward to it. That's about as good a ratings as you can get going into a movie.
I'm going to wait for the Brett Cagle / Alex Behunin review of that movie because I don't buy any Rock movies at all. I think The Rock is a god-awful actor. I think he's fucking terrible.
This is his first drama. And for fight fans out there, too, Bas Rutten is in this movie as his trainer. Bas actually trained Mark Kerr and still is in good enough shape to play himself as the trainer, Bas Rutten.
Bas trained Paul Blart in that one movie. Didn't he?
Here comes the boom, yeah.
Here comes the boom. He trained Paul Blart. I could give a shit about it. The Bas, first of all, Bas is the fucking man, okay? He was going to beat the dog shit out of Brian Urlacher at a party one time. So someone told Brian, hey, you know who the fuck this guy is? And Brian was like, my bad, bro. Giant-ass Brian. You know Brian Urlacher. Giant-ass Brian Urlacher. That motherfucker. Anyway.
Middle linebacker for my Bears.
But big motherfucker, dude. One of the best middle linebackers of all time.
Yeah.
Probably third or fourth, way behind Ray Lewis in my mind. But still. Yeah, anyway. The reason they did.
Hey, and did you know that Bas Rutten, the punching animations in GTA
are his?
All him. They put him on those bodysuits.
You could tell. You could tell when you see that they go on. I'm like, because he does that fucking very like super like dramatic weight. Every punch that he threw, because he did pancrase. He didn't do MMA, right?
Yeah.
So his was palm strikes, right? He was smart. They thought the fight was gonna hit this part. He was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna hit you with this bitch right here." Yeah. It was awesome. Anyway, look, man, I hope it's good. That's all I got for that one. Kerr was one of those dudes that was like, he was smashing machine. Fuck, that's
he's a physical specimen, had a lot of potential.
Ooh, one thing, sorry, so I just noticed this right now, because I was looking up something right now while you were talking. Have you seen? And this is way off topic. I'm sorry, dude. Have you seen the physical transformation of The Rock?
Yeah,
he's skinny.
I saw that. I just saw a couple pictures.
What is going on with this dude? I know he had like a health issue, but I don't know what it was.
I think it was this movie. He had to drop a little weight to play Mark Kerr, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here, one sec. Can you look up on your computer Mark Kerr versus Dwayne Johnson in Smashing Machine? They look identical. Like, I was listening to a Bas Rutten interview, and he was like, I came in to the set and I was like alarmed with how close they looked.
Yeah. No, dude. Sorry, I fucking got a text from somebody. It's fucking silly. Oh, I'm way off. No, dude. He looks. First of all, in the movie itself, he looks like a massive dude. I think he got bigger. From
you're right. I don't know how. What do you? Because they just shot that movie.
That shit right here, boy. Got back on that juice. And look, man, I tell you right now, The Rock has been for years. Is like, I'm natural. I'm totally natural.
Hey, speaking of steroids.
hey, if I was on steroids, I'd be way bigger than this, my boy. But I appreciate you, Jake. By the way, have you seen Jake sparring?
No, I didn't.
Dude, he looks good.
Oh, really?
I saw one he landed a fucking slick-ass left hook on whoever he was training with, and I was like, God damn, Jake, all right, boy. But it was like a 30-second clip. I was like, I need to see the tape. I want to see the whole tape. Jake's going to fight. I'm telling you right now, I think Jake's going to take at least a couple Emmy fights. At least.
No, that'd be cool, man.
I want to do them closer to Arizona if you can, my boy, because I want to go. But if not, I will try to go to Philly for that. But dude, if Jake fights, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go. But anyway,
some of the money they're throwing around to Ben Davis and Oscar Willis, I'll get my face punched by somebody. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Dude, hey, Oscar's legit. I'll send you the round. And no, I'm not fighting.
Oh, BJ.
Oh shit! Let's go!
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
That's my boy. Shit! Oh man.
Congrats, Jake. Man, we're happy for you, brother.
I wonder if I can fucking make it after that. I'm gonna try it, bro. I can't promise you anything because we all got families, but
let us know on a date too when you get it if you got it finalized. Oh, it says 2026.
Yeah, in next year. Yeah, he's training for it. But no, hey, I'll say this: you look slick on the feet, bro. You look good. Anyway. I totally forgot what we were talking about. But anyway, but The Rock looking way smaller now and everything. And it's going to be interesting to see him look normal. Oh, he had the heart issue. So again, the heart issue or the cardiovascular system issue that he has, it happens with guys that abuse steroids. right? Ton of wrestlers have had it. I think maybe The Rock is like, fuck, I better stop this shit. And now he's gonna be a skinny guy. He's like, now I can do dramatic roles. Well, I'm not just a meathead anymore. And so he's gonna have to. And look, if anything, The Rock is he's great at reinventing himself. Does it all the time. So good for him. As far as this movie goes, like I said, I'm gonna wait for the Brett Cagle / Alex B. Heenan stamp of approval, and then I will absolutely watch that shit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to go see it in theaters, so I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, let me know because I owe the wife a couple date nights here, so that might be one of them. Where I'll just say, hey, it's this great dramatic movie about a guy that abuses painkillers. We're going to show up. She goes, the fuck is this fighting?
For real.
I got you.
All right, fight fans, we do have a little bit more for you guys here in the last segment of the show. Eddie, let's talk a little bit about the Dana White Contender Series that happened last night. 4 contracts were awarded. Pierre, I mean, in that main event, the grappler there, John Pierre, was able to get a head kick. Nobody saw that coming. They thought that Brogdon, I think the kid's name was going to be able to get the best of him on the feet. He was going to have to take the fight down, but massive knockout from him. 3 other contracts were awarded on the night. The only one that was not awarded was Chopin, I believe. So what did you think about some of those guys? And was there anybody that stuck out to you as somebody that we should watch moving forward and keep an eye on?
Real quick, Jake sent me his footage from his sparring. I like the pressure, Jake, and the distance management looks good. Yeah, the sprawling looks good. Like, my boy, take a fight. Take an amateur fight. I did it. You can do it too. Anyway, I'm just fucking with you. Don't do that. Yeah, when you become a father, you stop thinking about getting punched in the head unless you're making big money. So don't do it. But jiu-jitsu is absolutely free grappling. I can't fucking wait to see it, brother. So Chapolin didn't get a contract, right? Even though he won. Yeah. That was a hard-fought fight. But here's the thing: is you gotta. Okay, and again, I'm a little bit biased. I'm cool with a lot of those bloodline guys. You know, Richie Miranda, Chris McCarty, Le'Veon Douglas, who's fighting next week at Contender Series. I'm cool with all those guys, right? So it's hard for me to like bet against those guys, for lack of a better term. But the thing with Chapolin is he didn't show what he showed at LFA 215. I covered him at 215. 10 days later, on 10 days notice, he took that Contender Series fight. Okay, and then he fought, and he did really well, but he cut weight twice, Dana. Now, here's the thing about Dana. Dana doesn't bet these guys. He just shows up, okay?
Yeah.
He just shows up.
He's got to leave that to Mick and Sean.
I really don't like that. I really, really don't like that. You need to give this guy credit for taking a fight on 10 days freaking notice, cutting weight twice, okay, and then taking out 2 killers. Back to back like that, dude, that's hard to do. You got to give Chapolin a break. I think Chapolin's going to be on the short list for either return to the Contender Series or a short notice fight. I think he'll be in the UFC eventually, especially with Daniel Cormier, like, you know, pushing him and everything.
I didn't really like what Dana said in that one because he was saying, "Oh, you didn't show me anything."
What are you talking about?
There's nothing that I saw that impressed me. Like, bro, he outstruck him and was better on the grappling. Like, he was better than the guy you threw him to. So
way better. Yeah. So
in my opinion, Eddie, I don't think that every single fight should have to end by finish for you to get a contract or be the fight of the night. Like,
this isn't one championship.
Go up against a tough dude and win. Like,
this isn't one championship where in order to get a bonus of any kind, you need to finish the fight, and that's it. You know, get 300,000 baht, whatever. That being said, I really liked Mikhail's brother, Cesare.
Yeah.
He was dope. Dude, Jean-Paul. First of all, I interviewed Jean-Paul in his last fight. Yeah, his last LFA fight. I interviewed him before that. And you will not find a more clean-cut human being as a fighter. The kid
he seems like humble. A good dude. He really does.
Good dude. Humble, works hard, but his lineage is insane. The guys that Hoist Grace, the other guys, like you were saying, like he trained with killers on the ground, but he's so respectful. He's so clean-cut, and he doesn't play. He was saying in his post-fight, you know, I think he was talking to John Morgan, Pat Dan, and Dylan the Plane. Shout out to our boys. They were out there. He was talking to them about, look, man, I'm always ready. I'm always training. I'm always in shape. My weight never gets out of I'm always ready to go. That is a professional, folks. That is how you get into the UFC and maintain it. All right. Not, you know, take an LFA fight and be like, oh, I'm going to get a knockout, and get a knockout. And then you come in and look like ass in Contender Series. He stood on business, and it worked out really well for him. By the way, jiu-jitsu guy getting a head kick knockout? Oh, fuck. Not mention.
I know. I was shocked.
Give Jack Condon another shot at the contender series, please, with a full camp. This man stepped up on short notice. Good for fucking him. He's a great fucking just balls on that dude to do that, right? Big time. So give him a shot, please. Again, who was the other guy that I was looking at besides John Paul?
That Tommy McMillan fight was balls to the wall, man. That was awesome.
The fight was great. The fight was great. I'm sick of this. What the fuck is this? Like, I'm Tommy Guns, guys. Get it? Do you get it?
Bro,
I hate that shit. I hate that shit. It's so stupid.
Tommy McMillan's the king of the trailer park.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? I take it back. That works. Yes, trailer park. 100%. I'm with you. No, but even Sean O'Malley didn't do that silly shit. Like, be a grown ass man, bro. Like, it's weird.
That's what my buddy was saying. He's like Sean. I was like, I think Sean's gonna put on a show, man. I think this guy's for real.
This guy's No, Tommy is a motherfucker. Holy shit, dude. See that one? He got caught in that one. It was like a dart stroke, whatever it was. He spins his hips. First of all, jiu-jitsu guys, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Spins his hips down. His head is back like this. You know why he did that? He torqued his own body and spine to force his head. He had to use his entire body and muscle and skeletal structure to do. I guarantee you, he's not turning his neck or his head like this for like a month. Okay,
Eddie, I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy. Is that how you're taught to get out of that choke, or did he just basically will his way out of there?
He willed his way out of that bitch. Okay, the way you get out of that choke is not to get put in it. Okay, the joke on a lot of these submissions, like I got armbarred in a tournament one time, and I didn't tap fast enough, and I didn't break my arm, but I popped all the tendons right in here. I've done it on both arms too, but it happened, and I come up and I go to the EMT. I'm like, hey, can I just get a bag of ice? His arm's not gonna move for a couple weeks, but whatever. He's like, hey man, you know how to defend the armbar? And I'm just like, not getting one. He goes, oh, you know that joke? I'm like, yeah, I do, asshole. Like I've been doing this for a while, but no, but that's not how you're supposed to do it. That fucking hurt. But the balls to do it. I'm a Tommy McMillan fan just off of that. Yeah, I love just forget the fight itself. That the grit to be like, look, bitch. You might beat me, but you're literally gonna have to kill me to beat me.
I told my buddy this. I said he got put in a position to where he was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna make this dude break my neck. He's either gonna break my neck or I'm gonna reverse position here, and I don't care if he does. That's the mentality Tommy had in that situation. Like
it brought me back.
His head was turned all the way around.
It brought me back to the old days of the UFC, the old days, and I'm like, ooh, okay. And so he won the fight. Hey, I was not mad at it whatsoever. I was like, hell yeah, let's go, Tommy. Let's see. Now, give him some time to heal up and all that because he got fucked up.
That was a 10-8. I was going to say, you're talking about the grit. He overcame a 10-8 round in that first round, potentially. Sal gave it 10-8. The other two didn't give it 10-8, which is why he actually won the fight and it didn't go to a draw. I had a 10-8 in that first round. How'd you score that first round?
I had a draw. I had a draw on that one. That should have been a draw. That should not have been. But I'll say this. If I'm Dana White, I'm like, Tommy McMillan, you're in the UFC. David Magoyan, you too, motherfucker. That was crazy. David gave him 2.5 insane rounds before he gassed the fuck out. But he gave him 2.5 insane rounds of just incredible technique and just grit.
And a lot of people was great.
Yeah. A lot of people call it sloppy. Dude, that wasn't fucking sloppy. That was a war between two guys, the two dogs. That was a dog fight, and that was beautiful.
It only got sloppy in the third round when both were tired.
That's
the point when you want to see them overcome the adversity of how hard the cardio is, and what it's taken on you. But
it was awesome, dude. Honestly, that fight was one of my favorite contender series fights ever. So I think both those guys should. I mean, I know McMillan got him, but I think McGowan should get signed too. And then the one,
he did his win money, didn't he?
Yeah, you guys win money, yeah. But my favorite win of the night, bar none, Mondale Nalo. Right? And not because of the way but not because he won the fight by he dropped the guy and then won the fight by TKO. He is because he was 36 years old. That's my favorite part. Dana keeps like, I don't like guys that are 30 plus, whatever.
He keeps signing them.
And I'm like, bro, hey, you might not dislike it all you want to, Dana. These guys are showing up and whooping on your young guys.
Yeah.
Fucking deal with it, dude. That's what it is. So he had to sign him, and he's going to be fun. Nalo will have a short run in the UFC, right, age-wise and everything, but he's going to have a fun run in the UFC. That's going to be fun. Put him in some just dog fight. That kid's going to be fun to watch.
I think he's going to fit in right where like Chris Curtis was, right? Chris Curtis was a guy who came from Bellator, put on action fights, was fun. I think that's going to be a similar situation for.
I think so as well.
Yeah. All right. So we did have one other announcement, big announcement that came following our show last week. Me and Eddie are going to break down briefly UFC 322 and the announcement for those 3 fights on that main card. They were some big ones. So in the main event of UFC 322, Jack Della Maddalena will take on Islam Makhachev. Jack actually just restructured his deal today with the UFC, 6-fight deal that he re-signed with the promotion. He actually became the first fighter, reading it here, to sign with the promotion after the Paramount Plus deal. But Jack Della Maddalena will take on Islam Makhachev. Makhachev looking to become 2-weight world champion, the current #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, trained by Khabib Nurmagomedov, taking on a very, very athletic, dynamic striker in Jack Della Maddalena, who is one of the toughest customers we have in the UFC, just beat Bilal Muhammad to get that title belt. But for Islam Makhachev, Eddie, this is all about legacy. He tries to do what his mentor and trainer Khabib never did, become 2-weight world champion. And if he can get that strap at 170 pounds, it opens up the world for huge, huge, monumental pay-per-view matchups with Ilia Topuria and potentially guys like Conor McGregor if he returns to the sport. It has to be at 170 pounds, and that is the matchup if he returns, in my opinion. So I think Islam Makhachev, there's a lot for him to gain with this matchup, but there's also a lot for him to lose. This is a high-stakes affair between these two guys.
Yeah, dude, it's a badass fight. I want to see how the size difference is gonna. It's not a huge size difference. They're both the same height, I think, for the most part. JDM's got a bit of longer reach, but he's a sniper with the hands, right? So he's fun to watch and everything on that. The thing about Islam Makhachev is people. Yes, he trained with Khabib, 100%. Also trained at AKA and with Daniel Cormier. His hands they look like Daniel Cormier hands, a little bit. But it's going to be a big matchup. I can't wait to see it. It's a great main event for MSG as long as both guys make it. And either we have a 2-division world champ or JDM solidifies himself as the world champion, but also one of the best out there to be able to beat a guy like Islam that no one's been able to really take out outside of who took him out?
Adriano Martins.
Thank you, Martins, who ended up going to one championship and he got taken out with somebody else. So it's gonna be fun. It'll be a fun fight for sure. I like a super early pick. I'll change my mind maybe as we get closer. We'll see.
Yeah.
I research these fights, folks. Don't play like I just show up and talk my shit. I actually research this shit. But I like Islam right now. But we'll see what as we get closer to the fight.
One thing I do want to ask you, I couldn't have said anything better. I agree 100% with everything you said on the fight. But, Eddie, is this the most excited you are for the rest of the year for any fight? There's Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane out there. There's some other ones as well. This is the one that really gets me out of bed and as a fight fan, has me looking and counting down the days for when this one's going to happen.
Well, because this is a real option. This is one of the first real guys that could actually beat Islam. Right? Yeah. We didn't get the Topuria fight like we wanted to. Now, Islam has said, I want to go up and get that belt, and then we'll come back down and fight Topuria. Great, let's see it happen, right? Because look, we get some fun shit either way. Either Islam gets beat and we find out he's human, or Islam doesn't get beat and we get thrown to the next guy to see if he beats him, right? So either way, we get some good fight vibes out of however this fight goes overall. But in terms of like most exciting matchup the rest of the year. I mean, right now, I'm not hyped at all. Not even a tiny bit for Aspinall Gane. Like, I do not care. Tom Aspinall's going to maul that dude. Weili Valentina is probably like a close second to me.
Yeah, let's get into that fight now. The co-main event for UFC 322 is Valentina versus Zhang Weili. She will be vacating the strawweight title, moving up to flyweight here at 125 pounds. And Eddie, this is a matchup that fight fans have been clamoring for years, finally getting it. Is the size advantage going to be too much for Valentina Shevchenko? Only 1 inch taller, but obviously very stocky, very broad, and is one of the most well-rounded fighters in the world. But she's taking on the streaking Zhang Weili, who has made a name for herself since those losses to Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, dude, I think so. Weili has shown her wrestling's actually improved quite a bit, right, in the last few fights. I think it's going to be one of those things where we're going to see kind of a little bit of how to call it, like kind of cancel each other out on that end. I think we're going to see a striking battle, and it's been a minute since we've seen Valentina just stand and strike with somebody. I think that's what we're going to get. I think they both know no one really that if they try to wrestle each other, it's just going to kind of stall out.
Juice won't be worth the squeeze.
Yeah, I mean you gas yourself out. Like, they'll try in the first couple rounds, sure. But when you get the rounds 3, 4, and 5, I don't care how good your gas tank is, unless you're Merab Dvalishvili, like you're not gonna be effective in my mind in wrestling. You're gonna have to start throwing hands and looking for a finisher or knockout or whatever. So, but I'm hyped for this one too. To me, this is a close second, man. It's one of those. You know what's funny is Islam had to vacate, and so did Wei Lee. The UFC is donezo with champs. They do not want to deal with that shit no more, and I'm okay with it, honestly.
So, Eddie, do you think this could be on the level of Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Zhang Weili? Do you think we get one of those firefights back and forth between these two world-class champions?
I would love for that to be true. I hope that's true. I hope that happens. Do you remember? Was that the fight that JJ left with that hematoma? That head was like, it looked like an alien. Actually, she retired after that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, then she came back and got spinning back fist by Zhang after that.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. Fuck that shit. Now, either way, like I'm not really sure how the fight's gonna go. I think we'll research it and figure out. I think as we get closer, but I like the matchup, and I also like the fight after that.
Yeah. So the fight after that, fight fans. Before we leave you guys tonight, there is one more that we got to talk about. Former welterweight champion Leon Edwards taking on the streaking knockout artist from Brazil, the fighting nerd Carlos Prates. Some people are calling this a setup for Leon Edwards to lose to Prates. But, Eddie, I got to tell you, the experience, the striking on the outside, I think he's probably a little bit better grappler if it gets to that as well. I don't think it will, but Leon Edwards is very skilled. Do you think in this matchup he's kind of being disrespected by people online as it was announced that he doesn't have a chance? I think he's a live dog in this. I think he does have a chance. But I think this is also going to be one of the most action-packed striking contests that we've seen because Carlos Prates is going to make Leon Edwards fight for real on the feet. Leon is a counter-striker. He does great work in the counter-striking. But Carlos Prates is a seek-and-find destroyer who's one of the most aggressive knockout artists that we've seen, which, from my point of view, is a very interesting stylistic matchup on the feet.
So I'm pretty sure that fight against Ian Gary was short notice, right?
Yes.
Am I wrong on that?
No, I think you're right. It was in Kansas City.
Okay. That fight was a rough one for Carlos.
He was supposed to fight Jeff Neal originally in that fight, I believe.
All right,
and
then
then
there you go.
Ian came up on short notice.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Well, yes, you're right. Okay. So no, it was the other way. Ian was supposed to fight Jeff, and Carlos stepped up.
You're right. Yeah.
Anyway, that he got the preparation wasn't good for that one, so I think he's gonna come in way more prepared for this one. But you're right, Leon Edwards is a counter striker, and people can say whatever they want about Leon Edwards. I know he's quiet, he's awkward for sure, right? But like striking wise, he's fucking awesome, right? And then he hasn't really. But here's the thing about that: he hasn't really seemingly overcome that like self-sabotage that he kind of does in every fight. Right? Like that fight against Usman where he took the title, like his trainer had to get in his ass. Like, you got to get that shit out the fire. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Right? Like, and even then he looked like he was
sense of urgency. He does not show sense of urgency. Yeah. At all.
He didn't have it in that fifth round either because he was not moving like it. He just set up a really beautiful, perfectly timed technique and it worked out. Carlos is going to be ready for it this time. I think he's going to be ready for this fight. And I'm not going to say he's going to maul Leon because he's not. Maybe he does. Holy shit, you can call for a title shot if you want to. Former champion. But I think I like Carlos in this one, but we'll see. As we get closer, I'm sure we'll change our minds, or maybe we won't. We'll see.
All right, fight fans, that's what we got for you this week. We will bring you analysis from UFC Paris next week and any breaking news that we have coming from this fight week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. to talk about UFC Noche in San Antonio. I will actually be at that card covering it for us in person. Eddie or Gabriel, someone from our website will be at the Canelo versus Crawford fight as well that same night. So you can check out both those events on the Cageside Press YouTube channel, and we'll have you guys covered for next weekend for either of those fights, boxing or MMA. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next week.